Hi, I just thought I would come on here and tell you a little bit about my journey. I know I gave you the rundown on Monday about my diagnosis of MS and um, just the bullet points. I didn't go into any feelings about it. And today I'm going to try to do that. It's going to be emotional for me. It always is, and I don't mean it to be, but when you go play back those memories in your mind, you can't help but get emotional about it. So I'm actually recording this on a separate device at the same time because there's no way I'm going to remember what I said, or if I did something awesome, I won't remember how to do it again. So anyway, I might be looking at you and I might be looking at my computer, so just bear with me. So I thought I have to grab my notes because I did write some notes if I can read them. So when I was diagnosed, it was very different. I didn't have I was all by myself. So my ex-husband and I had separated, and I wanted a divorce. And so it was pretty much just me and my two boys. My ex-husband had left the state, and that's when I asked for a divorce because I just didn't feel it was right anymore, and I wanted that done. And I had a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and that was interesting all itself. So I was a single mom. I was working full time at a law firm. I was loving my job, and all of a sudden, I just had this dot in my vision that I couldn't wipe away. I thought something was stuck in my eye. I had no idea what it was. So I went to the optometrist, and he's like, "Well, you need to go in for more testing. We're not exactly sure what this is." I'm like, "What do you mean what it is? It's just a spot in my eye. Just get it out." And he's like, "Well, it's a little bit deeper than that." And I'm like, "How do you know? How do you know?" He's like, "There's nothing in your eye." So he had scheduled an appointment with the optometrist or the Moran Eye Center to figure out what was going on, and he told me that it could be MS, multiple sclerosis. I knew that people had multiple sclerosis. I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea that was the turning point in my life. I just didn't know. So over the weekend, that was Friday that I went, and over the weekend, I went blind in my right eye. I have never been able to see in the eye again. If I close my left eye and I'm looking through my right eye, I only see this part of my vision very faintly. It's like a shadow. I'm looking through shadows, and that's all I can see. So it's very different, and I used to be an awesome PlayStation controller person. I loved to play PlayStation, and I was really good at it. But I have not been able to work that out because if I'm looking at something for too long, the like if okay, if I'm trying to if I'm trying to pluck my eyebrows, there's no way, because to see if I'm getting the right hair is so hard, because when you're doing it with one eye, it's just different. Like your whole right here is you like right over here in reality, and it's really hard to communicate that to people, and it's just difficult. So anyway, I had some depression come in, and I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what depression was, and I had no idea how I would be able to work through this or anything, and it was just terrifying. I just remember looking at the doctor and saying, just give me the medication. I'll be fine. Just make me better. Thinking that I would be able to be cured in just a little bit and nothing else would happen and I'd be fine. But I was not. I was a mess, a huge mess. And I was so thankful that my mom really took care of me and my boys, and she just really was a lifesaver. I don't think I've recognized her enough to let her know how thankful I am that she stepped up and really helped me through this trying situation. So, overnight, I wasn't able to cook, and I wasn't really that great of a cook to begin with. So, I don't think that really anything horrible happened. But my 5-year-old son had to start helping me chop things up because there were several times when I was chopping and I cut myself. And I would just start bleeding, and I'd be like, okay, Collins, it's your turn. You have to cut this up because I couldn't see what I was chopping to do that. So we have gotten better things to help me, and I've gotten the Pampered Chef chopper thing that is in one place or whatever. But it was quite the struggle, and it was very different. And then, okay, I'm going to tell you something kind of funny, but anyway. So I'm completely blind. I don't know if you're coming up behind me. I won't see you until you're like right here. That's when I will see you. Oh, you can't see that. But anyway, it's just like you have to be like right here for me to see you on my right side. And so I would always have my boys stand on my right side, and I talk with my hands a lot, and I would just be talking or whatever, and I would sweat, do this, the swiping motion, and I would hit them. And it was not, I did not mean to hit my kids at all, but I would hit them. And they got sick of it, so they wouldn't stand there anymore. And I actually hit a boy. I shouldn't be laughing, but it was really funny. I actually hit an unknown little boy, and I had no idea that I hit him until I actually hit him. And so I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm blind. And I know that they thought I was crazy because you can't always tell that I'm blind. And it was just so funny. So I always told my kids to stand there, and I have now stopped talking with my hands so bad. But yeah, I did that. So um, another thing that has that I wanted to get into was um, when I wasn't able to walk or talk in October of 2015, I wasn't able to talk very well, and it was getting worse, and we didn't know why. I thought it was my MS, but I went to the doctor, my general doctor, and she's like, "Well, I don't know," and I'm like, "I think it's my MS. I really do." And she's like, "Well, let's try these things or whatever." And everybody thought I was having a stroke, which I knew I wasn't, but I had to be go through all these tests to make sure I wasn't having a stroke. And that then my MS doctor's like, "Okay, let's just get you on an oral steroid." And so she did that, and I was taking it faithfully, but it really wasn't helping. It just prolonged it. So anyway, on New Year's Eve, it got to the point where I couldn't walk. And I realized it wasn't like the day after. So the day after, I really couldn't walk, but I just didn't feel secure in walking that time. So I started crawling. I would crawl everywhere. I did. And then the next day, New Year's Day, I had vertigo really, really bad. And in fact, I sat up in my bed and I puked because I just had vertigo and I didn't understand what was going on. And I remember calling my mom and just being kind of so freaked out because I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't sit up. I can't, everything in the world is just spinning. I can't do anything. And then I just started puking. And she could hear it, and I was just so distraught. So she came over. She brought my dad with me, and we determined that I had to go to the hospital, but I had to go to the McCady Hospital or the U of U hospital, not the McCady. I lived right next door to the McCady, but the McCady Hospital had told me previously that if anything happened, I had to go all the way to U of U. Now, to you guys, you don't know where that's at, but that's like a 30-mile different or a 30-minute drive. And I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to be able to do 30 minutes in a car. But I got a big bowl so I could puke along the way. And we just drove, and that's what we did. And when I got into the hospital, I was just puking. And they're like, I think you're having a stroke. Again, they thought I was having a stroke, and I'm like, no, I am having an MS episode. I know this is what it is. Just give me the steroid. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. And again, I was not correct. I was correct about the MS episode, but I had no idea that I would have to then spend some time in the rehabilitation center, and it was just really scary. It was hard for me to um, be away from my kids. It was really scary for me to be all alone in that facility. They were great doctors and had really good nurses, but just the all of a sudden you go in there and you can't help it. You can't stop what's going on because your brain's broken. Um, it's just hard. And I remember my grandma coming to see me, and I was just broke down. And she's like, "It's gonna be okay." And then I felt like I'd be okay, but I was bound and determined that if I'm gonna be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, I'm gonna like do it the best I can. So I rode up and down in a wheelchair in the hallway because I I just needed to. I needed to secure that. I needed to feel like I could do that by myself with nothing else. And so I was really proud of myself, and I wanted to show off to my family, but I could not. When they came, they wheeled me around. I'm like, I can do it. I can do it. But it was fine. But I really became the my family coins it as the negative Nilly. I'm a really positive person, and during this time, I became very negative. I didn't because I couldn't see really well, and then like my fine motor skills diminished, and I really needed more help than I thought I needed. And it was really hard. And again, the depression came in, and it was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And finally, I came home, and that's when my husband said, "You're really a negative Nilly. I can't have you be like this." And then I'm like, oh, well, crap. He doesn't understand what's going on with me, but I don't think that's the big thing of it. So I worked really hard to not be a negative Nilly because I really felt like, what's the point? What's the point of being better if I really am not going to be better? I worked through that, but as you can tell, I am like very emotional. So I really, I, I'm just, I know this is like so far out, but I really went through a state of helplessness because I wasn't able to walk like I could. I wasn't able to be released from the hospital until I could show them that I could shower by myself. I could walk by myself, and I could make myself some food. So that is like the hardest thing in the world. So I had to shower. When I first had vertigo, somebody had to help me shower. And that is like so sad that you can't shower by yourself. And I felt so like, I know this isn't it, but I felt violated because they're not supposed to see me naked. But this wonderful nurse just came and helped me, and I'm like, you have to wash my hair because it got so nasty. I mean, it'd been like a week, and they finally showered me, but it was just, I couldn't do it by myself. And I got a little one of those things that they pick up trash with on the freeway. That became my best friend because I couldn't reach up, and in a wheelchair you can't stand up and things like that. But they gave me that, and I drew a little face on it and things like that. But it was very hard, and this is a longer video than I had planned. But I am very grateful that I was able to get through this because, as I said, the emotions are very big. I can't help it when it's just, and when I talk about it, I try not to get into the emotional part of it because it is overwhelming. Even to this day, it's overwhelming, and I'm just so thankful that my family stuck by me and helped me out because I would not be here today if it weren't for those sweet spirits at my home. And that's it. That's all I'm going to share with you today because I'm already bawling and it's okay. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a better day. And I'll see you guys later.